bottom, it's normally a story that comes in. Sometimes you laugh, sometimes you cry, sometimes you just remember some good shit. Welcome to the Bottom of the Bottom podcast.
What's going on, good people? Y'all know what time it is, man. Glad to be back in the place. It's the bar BOTB. I'm your host, Jay Walker III, with my co-host, Carolina Dirt 803. What's good with you, player?
Ain't shit, boy. The Hummmpday happy hour tap in, bro. It's gonna be a good dope episode, man. We form relationships around here. That's what I like. We form relationships.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And why not, do what we do, man, which is speak to the community and let people know what's going on, man. Like, a lot of our demographic is, some grown-up people, some grown-ass people. So, you know what I'm saying? We're going to speak to them. We're going to speak to their kids, especially kids that are athletes and whatnot, or student athletes, as we should say. And we're just going to have a dope conversation with two returning guests. Our first guest, Mr. Terrence Quattlebaum. Y'all saw his episode a few weeks ago. Accomplished HBCU arena football champion, just overall good person, because that's what you got to be in this world, as a decent human being. So, Mr. Quattlebaum, what's good with you this time?
Man, I'm good, man. Happy to be back on the show with y'all to chop it up.
Absolutely, man. I don't see why not. Just having a couple drinks with you, local friendly players, you know what I'm saying?
That's it, man. Earl Mo to the fullest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And our other guests, returning guests of the pro wrestling field and occupation, man. He out here getting it how he live, man. Bumps, bruises. And, we're going to talk to him on his journey and just have a decent conversation, man. So let's bring in Mr. Kole.
Yeah, he stepped away just now. He just stepped
away.
Okay,
well, he'll be here in a minute, man. Let's go real quick, man, to the brim. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all familiar with it. Yep. We entered the top 25 after a long time, man. We had a game where they'd rather say that Texas A&M gave us the game, but we showed up and we played, cuz. At the end of the day, you got a winner and a loser. Mm-hmm. Don't tell me that the winner was given.
Yeah, John just came back and you want to give him another intro?
Absolutely. I mean, we're going to bring to y'all today Mr. John Kole, man. John Kole, how are you this evening, brother?
Uh-oh. That's the other part of his bill, your audio. Yeah, he can't hear you.
I'm not. I think you're a little froze. Oh, there you go.
It says Mike Paul.
Man, we're going to do an episode on a tutorial on how to do a podcast.
Right.
It ain't on him. I be catching hell too.
Hey, let me go get my Gamecock hat. Let me get my Gamecock. Give me
I don't see why you wouldn't. Hold on. The people that follow us, they know what time it is, man. Look, these are hood productions, cuz if y'all want to give us some money and shit, and we can improve our quality here, we're gonna try to do that anyway. But if you want to donate, we're gonna tell you how to do that as well. Outside of that, man, we talked about it before. Big things happening in the sports world, man. Deion took over at Jackson State, man. He's a big name that took over HBCU and spread his celebrity to that college campus, man. If you don't follow football, you got institutions in the game as far as media is concerned. ESPN Game Day, they go to all the perennial schools on game day, and they just have a great show, and they let you know what's going on in the local neighborhood, just as well as bringing a lot of attention to a place like Jackson, Mississippi, man. So big shout out to Dion and the Jackson State University Tigers. And y'all tune in on ESPN, man, so y'all can see what that look like.
Man, my hat look crooked, don't it? My brim all crooked.
Yeah, that's how mine be looking too. Sometimes I wear
Hey,
something
look,
like
if you go by how you look on the screen, you're going to be messing with that hat for the whole show. That's what I'm going to tell you. I do it every show.
I'm the only one with no hat on.
Well, you know, you got the dread, man. You got the locks out.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
I need something. You feel me?
Nah, man, you got the locks. See, I ain't gonna say we, but some of us are hair follicle challenged.
Yeah,
right.
I've been LeBron for a while.
Okay, so y'all know how we do this thing, man. Look, we're gonna get a quick heat check with everybody, man. We're gonna do this thing called first call. I'll take John. Well, I'll take Terrence. You take John. It's 5 questions for each of them. Ain't no right or wrong answers, just kind of a heat check. Since we are in the football realm with Mr. Quattlebaum, I'm gonna do some either ors, man. Brian Urlacher or Ray Lewis?
Ray Lewis.
Okay. Ocho Cinco or Brandon Marshall?
Both ahead.
God dog. Give me Ocho.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overlooked a lot, man, and I'm glad that he's getting his light now. I'm gonna go Fred Taylor versus Sean Alexander.
I'm gonna take Sean Alexander. That was a monster. Yeah, Fred was nice, but Sean Alexander, whoa. his whole body of work, man.
Absolutely. The greatest show on turf, the St. Louis Rams versus that Jacksonville team. That Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell, Fred Taylor.
The greatest show on turf. They just had too much.
Yeah,
and then their quarterback was an arena guy, Kurt Warner.
Okay.
Hey, when you say he got it from the mud, boy, hey, Kurt got it. I don't know if y'all seen his movie.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, that was.
He put his time in. That's for certain. Okay. Hardest thing about being a student athlete, man. Was it the food or was it the money?
Being a student athlete, man, you always had a target on them. And sometimes that target was good, sometimes that target was bad. You had to walk a fine line because you say the wrong thing, you do the wrong thing, somebody got you.
Absolutely.
And when they got you, man, it's hard. It's hard to get out of there because even me with at an HBCU, I had some issues. I had some run-ins, and my run-ins were mostly with girls, women, and I was a star.
We're gonna talk about that because that is a big deal. That is a big deal.
That's gonna be interesting.
Like Snow Bunny on the HBCU.
Oh no, that was my fault.
All right, John. I already know you in the car, so we're gonna say betting at the dog track or the horse track.
You said what?
Betting at the dog track or horse track. I know you in the car, so I ain't gonna put cars in there.
Yeah, man, you're gonna have to go to horse track, man.
Okay, horse track. Horse. All right. Ride a horse in the rodeo or ride a bull in the rodeo?
Ride a bull at a rodeo.
Really? Yeah. Boy, you a bad man. You a bad man. All right.
Ride a bull.
Slot machines or card table?
Card table.
WCW champion or WWF champion?
I'm gonna just say this for real. Some of the best champions was WCW. It's gonna be WCW champions, bro. I mean, Ric Flair. I mean, come on, Ron Simmons, WCW champion.
All right,
The nature boy.
Yeah.
my last one in a fight. Wesley or Michael Jai White?
You said who?
Wesley Snipes or Michael Jai White?
I love Michael Jai White, but I'm gonna have to say Wesley. Wesley's legendary, man. He's one of the greatest.
All right, hey, that was a
Yeah,
big
it's a different style. It's a different
Yeah,
style.
yeah.
They're two
I was
different
shocked.
styles, man.
I was shocked. I thought you would have picked Michael Jai White.
Wesley, man.
They almost the same age though, so somebody doing something better than the other one.
hey, Wesley had a hard life though.
Hey, bro.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
a huge
telling
Wesley fan, man. I love it. You know, he's a good artist, man, for real.
Hey, but for my brother Terrence that don't know, please tell him about the car that you got. The red one.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So pretty much we do some drag racing too, man. So my uncle been building cars since I was like a teenager, man. So he always would take us to the track. So he got a 82 Dodge Charger that we've been building. I probably say at least 15 years. Probably a little bit longer than that. And he has a he got a couple different ones too. But as far as that one, man, I mean, that one is a pretty fast one. I've never lost with that car. I've never seen him lose with that Dodge Charger, even up against like the new Chargers, the Hellcats. It's just something about that old school horsepower that it's out. You know what I'm saying? Like it just outbeats cars like that. The only thing I've seen kill everything on the track is a Tesla. That's probably the only thing I've seen.
Oh, it's a
That's like
luxury.
cheating.
Yeah.
That's like cheating almost, you know?
Man, I remember growing up, my dad and my uncles, we used to go to Darlington, and Darlington has a drag race strip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would go down there probably 3-4 times a year and just watch the cars just run down the lane.
Right.
Man, and, you know, if you thought your car was fast, you can pay the little fee. Jump out
That's
there,
how it
man.
still is.
Hey,
Yep.
or hey, my dad had
So
a
you-
Harlem.
You just got a car out there, cuz, or you driving?
Both. So yeah, we build cars and we mainly drag race because some of those old cars we can't drive them on the street. But like for me, I got a Mustang, so I can obviously drive that like every day. But these is cars that's built like straight just for the track racing on. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, we just try to have fun with it, man. I've seen guys like lose money before the drag race even start. Like somebody's car won't start up, and it's for like $1,000 or something like that, and then the guy engine just blow at the start line, and then
I was about to say,
You know,
Carolina,
so
you remember that? Down in
so many
Bowman?
crazy things.
That was actually no, that wasn't Bowman. That was Darlington.
No, that was Bowman. With the vet? 25 grand?
No, that was Darlington because that was Tony Wright. I think that was Tony Wright. So people in Columbia, if y'all know Tony Wright drive his baby Hitler or something like that. If y'all want, y'all can look him up on YouTube. His name Tony Wright. He famous around here for racing. He raced some cats, Street Outlaws. He been racing them for years. He beat Kyle Kelly, whatever his name is. I think Kyle Kelly, that's on the Street Outlaws from earlier this. Like he beat him. He ran him several times at Jackson and Aiken. But yeah, that was Tony Wright. Everybody in the streets know who Tony Wright is.
John, what's the fastest you've ever driven a car?
The fastest I ever driven a car, about $160 maybe. $160.
I did that.
Yeah.
That's a scary speed.
That's about $160, and that ain't something that you really should be doing on the street or really even,
Right.
know, like.
So I bought my Audi 2016, and it has 200 on the speed on it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, man? It's late night, the interstate clear.
You a true athlete.
I'm gonna see how far I can push.
Yeah. Yep. It's always in the back. Yeah. Like,
I got the 211, and it wouldn't let me. No, not 211. I got the 111, and it wouldn't let me. I had it to the floor. It would not keep going. I was like, But they sold me some bullshit, man.
I'm about to say, I pushed the Civic DX to 119.
Hey, 111. Now that 111, I was at 111 probably in maybe 11 seconds or so. Hey, man, and everything that I seen, it was just tunnel vision.
It ain't no left and right.
It's tunnel vision.
If someone would have ran out, it was over. I was dead.
Yeah, it's no left and right. The only way to keep yourself alive is to be in that tunnel.
Yeah,
so
I hold on. I drove somebody else's car. Somebody else let me drive their car. I hit 164. He had a Pro Charger on a Chrysler 300 Hemi. Terrence, I got the 164. The reason I'm telling you, I got the 164 on 26 from the Chevrolet dealership Love going towards Irmo before I hit Broadway Road. And it was still climbing. I got out of it because if I mix that exit, I gotta go to Chapin.
Oh yeah.
But I got the 164 on somebody else's car.
Man.
But real quick, we had a horse trainer, a guy that trained horse on this show, and he got a horse that do a quarter mile in 10. He said a quarter horse could do a quarter mile in 10 seconds. That's a horse now.
God,
you talking about somebody riding?
Yeah, man.
I'd rather be in a car than on a horse.
Man, like I've been up. My aunt had a motorcycle, and I was in high school, and she had a Ninja, and I had the Ninja. I think it was 150.
Yeah.
And then I never did that ever.
Yeah, nah, that shit. Nah, your balls so.
Yeah. So, but yeah, man.
Ask you a question. Did you tune your Audi?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I didn't change any. It's stock the way I bought it. I didn't. Now, I know some guys, and they're like, "Hey, man, if you do this, you do that,
right?
You're gonna exceed that." But man, I ain't trying to do that. I'm gonna wrap myself around the pole. And the thing is, I got an A6, and it's a sedan. It's a 4-door.
Okay.
But the thing is, people see 4-door. No, it'll fly.
Oh yeah.
And the thing, dang. I have my daughters in there, and they like, let's do 100. I'm like, well, that's easy. I can get to 100. That ain't nothing. My thing is, I want to get past it, but not with my kids in the car. No.
Nah, right.
But,
a lot of those guys at the track, they do have Audis. Like they tune them and everything like that, and be driving like crazy speed. You know what I'm saying, with the upgrades and everything. But yeah, man, like that's what everybody's doing, really tuning.
What's the craziest thing you've seen get down the track unexpectedly?
The craziest thing I seen is like an Acura, I seen an Acura, just somebody, pull out a good little victory on like an Acura. I don't really know what they did to it, but I mean, you might see something like a Honda, every now and then. But I'll be real with you, most cars like Benzes and you even have like BMWs. A lot of those lose on a regular basis. Just people that them cars lose on a regular basis. I see a lot of Chargers, a lot of Mustangs, a lot of Audis and Teslas. So like right now on the track between like old Chargers and like Audis, those is really killing everybody.
Man.
I can dig it.
Now, I raced somebody in my Titan, my truck, when I got there. We got a direct now. It's Nashville International Speedway, and I was in my Titan, and a dude had a Mustang, an old Mustang, and he kept on. And my Titan is a 5.6, and so I'm like, all right, cool, man. I got a 5.6. He got a 5.0. Ain't no way,
right?
He gonna mess with me in this truck.
Yeah.
So he kept on, man, and he took off, and I said, well, I'm gonna go get him. When I caught him and I passed him.
Right.
Got off of it. He said, man, I don't know what you did to that truck. But that truck is not supposed to do my Mustang like that.
Yeah, right.
I said, bro, only thing I did, I went to Hunters and they put the chip in there, and that was it. He said, oh shit, you cheating.
Right. Said I didn't come looking for you. You came looking for me.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
But yeah, and I still got that truck, man. I drive it probably once or twice a week. Yeah. That Titan, that's a truck for your ass. Yeah.
I can dig it, man. So we gonna get to, the main reason why we here. And I'm gonna start with because we all men of a certain age now, knowing what we know versus coming up as young men and getting into these different athletic ventures. How young is too young to start your kid on a professional athlete journey? I would say that to Terrence. I'll go with Terrence first.
Being that I've been through it, if I had a son, I wouldn't force him to play football. I wouldn't force him to be an athlete because it's a hard life to live. If you want to be great, if you want to be that dude, that's a hard life to live. And the stress that comes behind that, man, it's a lot of decisions that you got to make. You know, you ain't gonna have no friends. You can't have friends if you want to be that dude. You want to be the star in your town, in your state, in your college. You want to be a Heisman Trophy. You ain't got no friends, bro, because you ain't got time for it.
Right.
If that's a lifestyle that you want. But if you want to be good and you want to play in the pros, that's your goal, okay. But if you want to be that dude, man, yeah.
How old was you when you first started playing organized sports?
I was 9. I think I was 9. Seven Oaks Park. Oh no, I played baseball first.
Okay.
And I started with baseball, and I took a ball to the eye, and that baseball, I'm good.
Yep.
And then after that, I wanted to dance, But being a Quattlebaum, man, it wasn't no dancing, bro. No, it wasn't no dance. Not at Irmo, you wasn't dancing.
Right.
My dad took me to Tide Moore. Man, he bought me some Cougars. Hey, with the little beads on the bottom. Bought me a old helmet or Herschel Walker football helmet.
Don't say a Herschel Walker, nothing. He just bought you a generic helmet.
Hey, bro, I did not want to play no football. I'm gonna tell you, man. In the first practice, man, it was. I didn't want to play. Other friends that I went to school with, they played. And they were fine, man. I didn't want to play no football, man. But my dad made me play, and and even at practice, leading up to the first game, I still didn't want to play. But that first play of the first game, we ran 45 scissors. It was like a counter. I got the ball. I think I went 70 yards, touchdown. And I seen the look on my dad's face when I ran to the sideline. And he was so lit up and so happy, man. From that point on, I was playing football because I made my dad happy. That's what made him happy. And I wanted to make him happy every time I stepped on the field.
Absolutely understand. And I remember talking to you, Jai. You didn't do a whole lot of organized sports, coming up. But what was the thing that propelled you to become an athlete and then maintain it? Like, was there a particular instance that you was like, you know what? Now let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
Right, yeah, because when I was like a young teenager, my pops tried to put me in basketball. We tried martial arts. We tried a lot of different things. I wasn't really I really wasn't feeling it. But I was always play wrestling and shit like that in the neighborhood with the kids or at school and stuff like that. So I was always jumping off shit when I was a kid or a teenager. But honestly, I didn't really get involved in any kind of sports until I was a young adult, and I probably say maybe 16 or something like that, maybe 15. And I had a homeboy who was on our way from school, and two guys that jumped out of the alley with some rifles and tried to rob us. So this is coming home. I was in school, you know what I'm saying? So You know, we ain't really know what to do. They try to get us in the alley and everything like that. I mean, this is Baltimore, bro. So I mean, you got Baltimore City. I mean, that's just how it is. So, you know, I was able to get out of the situation. The guy ended up assaulting my homeboy, you know, and then some guys in the neighborhood kind of seen what happened and kind of scared him off or whatever. But I went home and told my peoples whatever, and he was like, man, we got to get you in boxing. So I started boxing around when I was a teenager. You know, I didn't want to box, but you know, they put me in a program. I used to train like twice or 3 times a week, but it really wasn't something that I wanted to do. But that kind of opened up the door for like more kind of different things, because then, you know, like, hey, I started getting more interest in other sports because now I had a reason to you know, get involved in the sports, and they wanted me to, you know how to defend myself so badly because of what happened. He's like, yo, you need to know how to throw them hands. Just make sure you know how to. If you're gonna do it, you're gonna hurt somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta do what you gotta do. Because they always told me, like, you know, most fights they're gonna end up on the ground anyway. So you gotta know how to, you know, use your hands, use your body and stuff like that. So that's when I really started getting involved in sports. But when I think about it, I really wish I would have stuck with boxing, because like I love boxing as an adult. You know, I say between Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, and Floyd, those are my favorite boxers right there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So that's definitely how I got into
And the heavyweight division is trash now, so who knows where you would be? You might be ranked between 1 and 4. You know what I'm saying right now. But so that's 2 different things, right? So Terrence started at 9 in football, which is a combat sport. Let's just be real. And then you kind of began your ascent at 16. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you now, John?
I'm 35.
And how old are you now, Terrence?
43.
So would you take back the 7-year jump start on your athletic career, or do you wish you would have started earlier, 7 years earlier on your career, John? And we'll start with you, John. Go back to Terrence.
I probably say yeah, because a lot of the all-star athletes, they were doing it when they were really small. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you know, it kind of that's how most all-star athletes are. They did it when they were really young. But if I didn't have a reason to do it, you know, then it would be a little bit different, because there wasn't anybody in my family that had really played any sports like that anyway. So it wasn't like I had a pops that played basketball and wanted me to get into basketball. I didn't really, you know, see too many people in the family like playing sports and wanted me to take after them. So it was kind of like something that we enjoyed doing, like watching it. But I didn't have no cousins, anybody that was like, you know, going, you know, taking it seriously and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, if I could, I probably wouldn't, you know, honestly, because now I look at a lot of the injuries, a lot of boxers getting stuff like that. I even had a chance to play for the NFL. I was real young, and they always tried to recruit me. They even tried to get me to kind of play a little bit last year when I went to a combine. You know what I'm saying? So there was a couple of different routes I really could have took over the years, but you know, I really didn't have a lot of interest in certain things.
I asked mainly because you still compete in wrestling. So that 6 years is that's a lot of less injuries. That's a lot of less miles on your body. That's why I brought that up. Mm-hmm. What about you, Terrence? In terms of, you didn't really want to play for one, but had you been eased into it, maybe you start playing in the 9th or 10th grade, do you think you would have been able to get to the level that you eventually got to if you would have started later than that?
Later? Probably not, because I didn't know what I had. And being that if I would have started in high school, I wouldn't have known. Like, my gift, it wasn't nobody around as fast as I could run. Nobody was faster than me.
Hell no.
I was the fastest person in Irmo, pretty much South Carolina, and on the football field, man, it was like, bro, like, no, I'm gonna be faster than you. You know, and everywhere that I went, I've been always the fastest guy. At whatever team, whatever level, I was that. And that happened at a young age. If I would have waited till high school, maybe I would have been I wouldn't have been as fast. But being that I was young, I started young. I was running, racing people, and and it helped me there. I guess as far as the collisions and the contact and the helmets, probably. I think I'm all right now. I think I still got all my marbles out. I don't think I'm too crazy,
Right.
I get a temper every now and then, but I don't think that's because of football. I think these people out
That's
here
life.
pissing me off.
That's being black in 2022.
Yeah, you a black man with a family. But I did want to ask, because Terrence, you pointed on it, and I wanted to ask Ja that. Who was the first person that gave you that recognition, that satisfaction? Like Terrence said, that was his father at a younger age. So Ja, because you started late, who was the first person that gave you that recognition, that love of the sports? Like when you looked up, you was like, I like this.
To be honest with you, it was my stepfather. I used to watch a lot of TV with my stepfather. He was actually the one that used to turn on wrestling all the time. You know what I'm saying? So he watched a little bit of everything. He would watch a little bit of baseball, he would watch football, but between like wrestling and boxing, that's really when I really started watching a lot of sports, is with him. But I was really young, at that time, but I didn't really understand it. But yeah, I see my stepfather.
So Terrence, as a son and a father, how much pressure do parents put on their kids?
A lot. Man,
Right.
I mean, because that's the psychological part that people that don't have kids or people whose kids aren't as good, they don't understand. Like y'all were talking, like how to be that good. The pressure that parents put on their kids when it comes to sports.
So I got two situations here. So we got a youth football program here called Unibears here in Nashville. Unibears have been great for a long time, Their Pee Wee program has always been great. And my nephew was playing out there. And I knew some of the coaches. They knew I played ball. And they're like, man, all season you come out and coach with us and whatnot. And, I helped out every once in a while. But I would always see these fathers. They yelling, they cussing, they screaming at their kids, their sons. Man, do this, do that. And then after practice, I see them jacking their kids up like, dang, bro. Like, no, that ain't the way. That ain't how you do it. But I ain't gonna step in because that's that.
Say bad body. They never played football in their life.
And the thing is, they're living out their dreams through their kid, but the kid ain't really got it yet because he's so young.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then on the other side, I got a partner now. His son, I told him like 5 years ago, hey man, relax. He's gonna be good because he's smarter than the other kids. Right now, physically, athletically, he ain't got it yet. But he knows the game. When he grows into his talent and his ability, he gonna be that dog. Man, his son right now, that dog. And he Little League, he that dog. But my boy like, man, I need him to do this. I said, I told you, man, don't scream, don't cuss him out, call him a dumbass and this. No. He's gonna get it. These young kids, man, their moms and dads put them in Pee Wee and they forcing them to do it. He wants to play, but he wants to learn the game first. Now that he knows the game up here, man, he killing, man. He killing. And the kid, he's amazing. I call him lockdown. Right now, I think he's in the 8th grade. He probably one of the best corners in the state at his age.
Okay.
Hey man, and he could probably play high school ball right now. He just a little. I mean, he's still small, but mentally, he got it.
He lighting the ass. They say back in the day, you lighting the
ass. He got it. He got it mentally, yeah. And then he's getting faster. He's getting bigger. He's getting stronger. By the time he's a senior, he's gonna be able to pick wherever he want to go to school.
So, and then that's the thing, right? So, we talk about parents that's a little bit too attached. You know what I'm saying? Not giving the kids the freedom to learn and enjoy the game. as both of you guys are athletes, once you become a show or a promise and you are immersed in whatever sport you're going to be in, there's a certain level of dedication and of work that you have to give. Do you feel like, I feel like sometimes the parents don't understand that. Like, you beating them in the head is just you beating them in the head. They still got a whole nother level to go that you can't even touch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? As far as getting up in the morning and hitting those workouts and hitting the ice tub and plyometrics along with school and everything else. You know what I'm saying? So what advice would you give to those people that have student athletes? You know, they might be anywhere between 12 and 15, and they get into that point where it becomes serious, weight training and things like that. How do you get them to move away from what they're trying to do? Being coached at home versus being coached at home and on the field.
If you can, find someone that you know that's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you find someone that you know that's been there, and you just need them for guidance. You don't need them for anything. Hey, what did you do when you were at this age? Because sometimes you find those people, man, those people got hit in the gym.
Right.
And then you got a lot of coaches out there and other people in the neighborhood, they got hit in the gym. You find that genuine person that's been there that's going to say, hey, this is what I did. This is where I made a mistake, but you don't make that mistake here. You be better than me. For me, instance, when I train kids and I talk to these kids, hey, this is where I messed up at. I didn't put in this time. You know, when I was younger, I should have been in the weight room. I didn't take the weight room serious. I knew I was faster than everybody else. I was like, oh, I'm faster than everybody else. What y'all want to do?
Right.
Yeah, I ain't never seen you lift weights, Terrence. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't never seen you lift weights.
You give me the ball, I'm gonna run a sweep, I'm gonna run a toss, you throw me a hitch, a slant, night.
Yeah.
But when I realized I needed that strength, I was in college and about to go play pros, and it's like, dang, if I would have been doing this in high school, man, I'd have been bigger, stronger, faster then. I would have been a real monster. You know, I played arena football. We played against Cincinnati Jungle Cats, and it was a DB. I played against them the year before. You know, I was a little guy, about 160, then 170. You know, he tackled me, smashed me. So I was like, man, I ain't about to go down on no arm tackle, no damn more of my life. You know,
Right.
Man, I hit that weight room. I got bigger. I got stronger. That next year, I ran that joke over. He said, bro, you been in the weight room, man. I said, hell yeah. Now, and that was it, man. And what I modeled that behind was Sterling Sharp. Sterling Sharp, he used to, when I was at West Virginia State, he would come and he would do our tour-a-days in the spring. And Sterling Sharp, pound for pound, was the strongest receiver to ever play NFL at that time. And he wasn't the biggest.
I'm about to say, he was what, 5'9", 5'10"?
He was probably about 6 feet, but bench pressing 400, 450. Bro, like,
crazy.
Receivers don't do that now. And so when he said that, I was like, you know what? He's a receiver. Why can't I do that? I'm 5'9", 170. Why can't I bench 400? Because if I can bench 400, ain't no way no DB gonna guard me.
That's a mean ass stiff arm when you can bench that.
And Sterling off the line, he wasn't doing all this shit. He was just run, grab the DB, throw him out the way, and run his route. That's what I wanted to do. Plus, I was fast. So if I could do that, man, you in trouble. But yeah, man.
So John, I want to ask you who took you under their wing, and like Terrence said, his speed made up for his strength.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your balance? What takes over? Is it your size for wrestling, or is it
intellect?
Your fitness? So who took you under the wing, and what's your balance on your athleticism?
Right. So I would probably say it might be more of the intellect, but as far as like whoever took me under their wing, it was my uncle, because he was always in the gym. You know what I'm saying? He was always like working out or doing something athletic. So when it came to like actually putting in the work, he was the person that actually had said, look, we need to go to the gym and lift this and do this and do this. And I remember I was a young teenager, and the guys was like, man, you must be on steroids, because I was always, you know, we already got some big boys in our family, but I'm 18, 19, I'm stacked and everything like that. But I was in the gym, you know, with Unc, and just doing his whole routine. But at the same time, I always told him, like, look, this is what I want to do. So he was like, man, well, you got to get ready. You know, he was watching wrestling back in the day, watching, you know, Jimmy Snuka, and he would say, man, you got to do this, you got to dress like this, you got to have. He was the one giving me the ideas on, you know, the persona and what you need to do, because like he was saying, he was watching that before I was born and everything. So he would tell me like, man, you know, make videos, and, you know, you need to get some lifts in your boots and everything like that. And, you know, he was really like, you know, grinding out, you know, and I was even doing a little bit of martial arts with him also. And, you know, even in that, they were saying like, man, you're real flexible, you're real strong. So it honestly took, I'd probably say, a good amount of people that kind of surrounded me and always exposed me to something different, like a different way of doing something, or giving me something that I can add and bring it all to the core of what I was trying to accomplish. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, as far as stuff like that, I mean, we used to jog in the morning. He got me on a diet. Even to this day, I don't eat no beef or pork. You know, I got my things that I mess up on, my snacking and stuff like that. But, you know, I honestly thank God for the men I had growing up that showed me, like, you know, if you're trying to do something, like, you know, we're going to help you accomplish that for real. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and that's just the same way I try to do to any young person that come to me for advice, or any of the children that I talk to, just try to tell them, like, you know, here's the way, you know, or this is how you do it, or, you know, give them the motivation and say, hey man, this is what you want to do. You know, because here, like in Baltimore and DC and in the Virginia areas, I mean, you know, you got kids that come from the same place that I come from, and for them to see somebody like me, you know, doing something where they don't see a lot of people that look like us doing, to them it's crazy, you know. But I was just a kid watching wrestling with my pops, right. And, you know, asking them to buy me the tickets. You know what I'm saying? Most people never really thought that, you know, what he's being, you know, what he's watching and what he's, you know, invested in is really going to be anything. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's definitely important. You know what I'm saying? Definitely have somebody to really, you know, show you something, you know, expose you to something that can really change your life, you know?
Man, I looked at your old picture. You was about as big as Terrence. You know, you put on some weight. Like I just scrolled through your old pictures. You weren't really that big back in the day, but it looked like, unless you just started taking pictures after you gained weight, like, yeah, I'm big. Because you look like you a little bigger than Terrence. But I do want to, like, as a younger athlete, looking at, like, me and Terrence went to school together. Like he older than me, so me going to school with Terrence and playing football, the same thing. I'm watching him, so. There was a guy named Juan. I know you remember Juan. He was the strongest person at our school. He was bench president. He set the school record at like 4:15. And then Terrence was the fastest person probably at our school at that time. Raymond Robinson was probably the nastiest at our time. Nate Reeves was probably all around the most athletic. Yeah. Josh Brindell, like all them. But I didn't take it serious until after them boys got out. Like, when y'all talk about when you take it serious, like the sports and everything, I didn't take it serious until after they got out, because now it's the legacy left. So, John and Terrence, like, what was the motivation? Like, John, what was the motivation in the ring? Like match day, what's the motivation?
Motivation is, man, I want to be the best. I want to have the best match. I want people to be talking about it. You know, I want people to remember, you know, this match. I want them to talk about it. I want them to feel the same way I felt when I was watching it. You know what I'm saying? So just trying to, you know, be somebody that people can actually remember at the end of the day. Like, hey, man, I remember when you did this, or, you know, just really go out there and be the best and act like it's WrestleMania or something like that, you know?
Yeah, because it's impressive. Like, to see, like, I remember you saying that one of your dudes was Bam Bam Bigelow. Like, Bam Bam was almost a 300-pound dude, and he was almost Jackie Chan, cartwheels, backflips, jumping over the top rope. Right. Like, where do you get that it's like you on a crash course that you are actually doing on purpose, because like where do you get that from? Knowing that you throwing yourself in the hall and you could possibly be hurt.
I mean, you gotta be a little bit of crazy, honestly, because I mean, this ain't the kind of thing, bro. It's a different kind of world out there. You know what I'm saying? So, but I mean, I'm telling you, man, like I was telling you before, like me and the brothers and the guys in the neighborhood, we used to wrestle and jump off of stuff like as kids and teenagers. So when we had the opportunity to get into an actual ring, it was no different. But at the same time, my first day in the ring on that tryout, when you hit that mat for the first time, you start to rethink everything. You know what I'm saying? You like, hold up, you know, that's when the fun stopped. You know what I'm saying? Once you get in there and you do them drills and you take your first couple bumps, you really sit for a moment overnight and think, hey, do I really want to be a wrestler? Is it really, or am I just a fan? And you'll make your determination real quick if you want to do that, you know.
Shit, gravity don't play no favorites. Y'all jumping off the top rope.
Gravity ain't got no friends.
Hey, that wrestling,
you know,
that wrestling for real. Like,
yeah,
it hurt, bro. Nah.
At what point,
right
Terrence? At what point, Terrence, was it that, like, when you were young, you were playing because that's what your father wanted you to do? You saw the joy that it gave him. When do you remember it switching for you playing it for yourself? Like, when did he begin to fade out of the, okay, I'm here to impress dad?
When I went to Campus I, in the Irmo Campus I. So, you know, Antoine was my cousin. And Antoine was the
legend,
better of the athletes. I mean, Antoine did everything, bro. Hey, he was baseball, basketball, football. And at that time, he was my only competition. And that was my cousin, you know. And he was a little older. I mean, maybe a year, maybe a few months older, you know. And the thing is like, okay, well, we need to be on the same team. Because if we're on the same team, bro, they in trouble. There ain't no way we're going to lose. Well, we played on two different intramural teams at Campus I. And I was on the intramural team. Bro, we were bad. We were bad news bears. Antoine was on the team. They had great athletes. And the thing was, we were winning. We were undefeated. But hell, I was running the ball probably 30, 40 times a game. You know? And, you know, but they had a great team. We played them. They beat us in regular season game. Going around the school, he got all the hype, man. He the dude. I'm like, damn, how can I beat him, man? What can I do to beat him? And the championship game, we ended up beating him. And so now that kind of, he was still here, but I kind of gained on him a little bit. And then, you know, then Dutch Sport came along in what, 94, 93? And, you know, we were all practicing at Campus I, the football field. Well, Bam was the quarterback. Antoine in the 8th grade. He back up in the 8th grade. I'm like, God dog, man. So I wanted the same respect, but I wasn't that guy yet. So Antoine playing varsity 8th, 9th grade. I'm playing JV. I'm like, dang, man. I'm just as good. Why they ain't giving me that recognition? But time came. Now I'm on varsity, 10th grade. Antoine on varsity. I'm starting. He's starting. We get it. And at that point was, cuz let's put Dutch Fork on the map. Because before now, nobody knew who Dutch Fork was in the state. We were Earl Mo's little brother. You know, Earl Mo was that dude. You know, and from that point, we worked together, and we was like, every sport, football, baseball, basketball, track, whatever it is that we're in, Dutch Fork is going to be on the map. And that was what we did. That's what we were trying to do. That was my goal. I want to put Dutch Fork on the map. If I can do that, I'm going to get letters. I'm going to get phone calls. It's going to come.
Right.
And
so At that point, it don't matter about, like, of course, you still want your father to appreciate what you're doing, but this is you developing your identity into your future.
Exactly. Because everybody in my family, they went to Irmo.
Right.
All my uncle, my dad, them, they all went to Irmo. I ain't go to Irmo. I could have went to Irmo. I ain't go to Irmo. I want to make my own man. I want to be my own man. You know, the best athlete at that time was Brandon Pollock at that sport. Pollock, hey, the real deal, man.
Indeed.
And like, man, everybody want to be like Pollock. Shit, me too. Shit, man. Hey, I want to be Pollock with the Duke. Hell yeah. That's what I want. Shoot. And you know, he just went into the Hall of Fame at that sport. You know, congrats to him. But that was it, man. And you know, things happened at Dustford. You know, we didn't win a lot early, but that senior year, that team that we had, I felt at that point we got there. We went deep in the playoffs. We lost at Darlington, and we shouldn't have lost, but we lost to them. But we went deep in the playoffs, and all right, we there. You know, and now we built the foundation for all these other kids behind us to build on. You know, and that was it, man.
So, John, you in Baltimore, Maryland, DC area. How did you balance the streets and being an athlete on the streets and sports?
I mean, you know, there's always that option, man. I have young guys that I talk to now that are kind of stuck in between that same thing. You know, I know a guy that's actually a very, very good boxer, and he actually has the opportunity to do some really great things, but he's in that same thing, you know what I'm saying? And just like anybody else, I had the opportunity to really get deep in out there, but I had a lot of people around me that kind of that say just kind of try to make sure that I didn't make certain decisions. I would still go out there and experiment and try things and you know and get in trouble and you know and things like that like anybody else, but it was just one of those things where, you know, hey, I got something I really want to do. And a lot of people wasn't trying to allow me to, you know, lose that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, here in Baltimore, man, like it really can go either way. You know what I'm saying? I know some of the most successful people, and I know people that could have been very successful people just by the certain decisions that they made. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to be my age and still, you know, and coming from the city, a very bad part of the city, and still being able to look back and say, look, man, I remember when, you know, I was coming through here or living this way, or some of the things I've been through, because I mean, I've done some dirt out there and, you know, and did some things, but it was all like, you know, all life experiences. But at the end of the day, I say one thing that really kind of kept me focused is Monday nights at 9:00.
Yo, wrestling, come on.
Monday nights at 9:00 was saving me from a lot of trouble, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, you know, it's definitely hard to stay focused. You know, especially when you got a goal that you think that that's really not really that. You know, a lot of people don't, you know, accomplish that. You know, it looks very, very unreal to a lot of people and yourself, you know, because I remember the first day I came home from a wrestling tryout, I told 5 people and they didn't believe anything that I said. I remember when I was in elementary school and they told us to stand up and say what you want to do. The whole class had laughed at me, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, so I just remember always being doubt. And with me, I love when people doubt or tell me I can't do something, you know what I'm saying? Or act like I'm not good enough to do something. It just motivates me more to just want to, you know, go ahead and crush that goal. And also, like, you know, as far as Mr. Terrance too, it's one thing that I love about people that play football is that they have a certain grind mentality that really can't be taught. And some of the best professional wrestlers, they were football players, like The Undertaker, Kevin Nash, The Rock, Bradshaw. I mean, the list goes on and on of football players. Some of them play for the NFL that, you know, they probably got hurt or something like that, or, you know, decided to change course. But I mean, you know, like big companies like the WWE, they love guys that play football because, you know, it's a grind effort that you really can't teach, you know what I'm saying? And it's a certain mindset that teaches you to just do whatever you got to do to win. You know what I'm saying? You really can't teach that.
All right, Terrence. We about to sign you up. We already got your manager. John will be your manager. We about to get you in that ring.
Hey,
you bounce on the ropes.
I'm gonna tell you. So at Dust Fork, I went out for wrestling. This was probably my junior year. I went, Coach LaPrade, he's like, come on out wrestling. It's gonna help you with football, this and that. I was like, all right, cool, man. I'm going. So I went out. Josh had won a couple state championships. Ryan Hardy. And then, we were all cool. Like, come on, man, you can do this, man. All right, cool. I went to wrestling practice one day. Hey, it was a little dude. I forgot it was a little white dude, man. I slammed him. Hey, picked him up. Boom. Yeah. Well, that ain't real wrestling, man, in high school.
Right.
That's TV stuff.
Right.
And that's what man, who did I wrestle? I think it was Josh Pollock. Man, Josh put me in a hole, man, and folded me up, had my leg. Hey, I said, let me go. No. Hey, after that done, I don't want no more. I don't want no more. Because you put me in a hole like that and I can't get out.
Yeah.
It was something in me said, you know what? This shit ain't wrestling no more, dog. We got to do this here. We got to do this. Hey, and so, and Coach Pratt, no, it ain't, no, he's teaching you. No, when I say I'm out, man, let me go, bro.
He said, you don't need no slow refs out there, cuz.
Hey, no, I don't need it. So.
Hey, but Terrence, LaPrade gave me that same speech, though. But I ended up, my senior year, he gave me that same speech, but I ended 5th in the state. 1 year, 5th in the state. He gave me that same speech.
Bro.
It's,
that's
like
a
you said,
sport, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
Humble you.
Greatly.
Absolutely.
My baby brother, he wrestled. And he was wrestling, he was a heavyweight. He wrestled heavyweight. And he was winning. He was doing good his first year. And so they had a tournament in Gatlinburg. And so my daughter, at the time, I think she was like 2 or 3 years old. So she knew her uncle. And so he had won. He was kicking everybody's butt, man. So this next match, he was getting ready to wrestle the #1 kid in the country that was going to Iowa on a scholarship.
Damn.
And they're like, all right, man. I was like, okay, baby bro, out here kicking everybody's butt. Hey, man, he folded my brother up, and my brother's on that mat. My brother, he said, hey, my daughter like, let him go. I said, it's okay, baby. Hey, he can't win them all. Hey, folded his ass up. Hey, my brother told me, he said, I'm done with this shit. No, I can't do this shit no more. Hey, and he was done. He ain't wrestling no more. No, that wrestling, well, that's something.
It's real in the field, cuz.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody cut your air off, cut your movement off. Like, it's over. It's over for you. Look, it's like, I could have died, man. You over here waiting to count. I could have died.
And they trying to put you in a lock to make you pass out.
Right.
On purpose. No, bro. Hey, somebody trying to make me pass out. That's a close thing to death. I gotta get you. You gotta see me. We gotta throw these. I'm not about to wrestle with you, bro. It ain't happening.
Well, Terrence, if you can't win the wrestle, man, we think you gonna win the fight.
Hey, see, there it is. Hey, y'all. Hey, look, I'm gonna stand up because I think I got some good hands. I'm gonna stand up. But if we go to the ground, bro, you won. You can have that, dog.
So you think just because you boxing, you got a chance.
Yeah.
Wrestlers got good hands, cuz.
I know. And if they try to scoop me, bro, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn. I might have to run and get retreat. Shit.
See these feet.
I'm not wrestling, bro. No.
So we're gonna try to round this thing out, man. Mm-hmm. For you, Ja, you still competing. You go back and forth with, how much longer you gonna do this. God give you a son. He sees what you've done. He wants to follow that path. What do you do to coax him? Or do you stay hands off and get somebody else to help him?
I was actually just thinking about that, actually. But I would take full control of responsibility, man, and still do what I got to do so he's able to see me, at work. You know what I'm saying? He's able to see exactly what I'm doing, and he can grow up and say, hey, look, my pops did this, and he can get a kind of like a little idea of what he want to do, Because I was having a talk with a homeboy today. He got a son on the way. He was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and I can't wait for my son to play lacrosse. He was like, as soon as he turned 3 or 4, I'm gonna put a lacrosse stick in his hand, and that's just how it is. It's the same thing with me. Like I would love for my child to be, son to grow up and want to be a wrestler or something like that too. But you still got to give them an opportunity to choose what they want to do. My pops didn't really want me to become a pro wrestler because I used to get hurt in the process of training and everything. You always tell me like, man, you should just quit and give it up and things like that. But I wanted to not only prove him wrong, but everybody else, and just move forward. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if I had a son, I would definitely, be the one showing them everything.
Absolutely. So what if you sucked up all the DNA, cuz? What if all he got is Michelob Ultra DNA left?
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? He said, Dad, I'm good in the kitchen.
Whatever you want to do, man.
There it is.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Exactly.
I mean, I feel like it's easier to take for these parents out here that never played the sport that they pushing their kid in so hard. Take that into consideration. You didn't do the shit. So how can you be so overzealous as to their training and what you think they should do on the outside looking in? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there were a lot of shows on Netflix. It was a show called Friday Night Tykes, man. And these parents is like, dad is an accountant and mom is a housewife. And this housewife who loves football is trying to teach linebackers how to tackle. Like, nothing in your life gave you that experience. What gives you the right, the gall, the brashness to curse a kid out about how they performing?
They want to brag. They want to brag. These parents, they want something to brag about. And the crazy thing about it is there's nothing wrong about bragging about your kids being on the principal's list, on the dean's list. There's nothing wrong with that. Shit, my daughters, both of them, straight A's all through school. They ain't really athletes. They dibble and dabble, but you know what? No, I'm bragging, man. They straight A's. They straight A students. They sing, they dance, they act. If I had a son, like Jai was saying, I'm gonna support him. And I'm only gonna give him advice when he asks for it. He knows that my dad played at a high level. My dad did this, but if he never comes and asks me for that advice, then I ain't gonna give it to him. That's why God didn't give me a son, because I feel he knows how hard I would have been on him if he wanted to pursue a career in athletics. Because it ain't no sleep. My oldest daughter, I'm hard on her. She played volleyball. I'm hard on her. You don't miss practice.
Yeah.
Because you got a headache, or she's a girl, they have period cycles. You don't miss practice. How many other women you think went through this same thing? No, you have your ass at practice.
Terrence, that's what you talking about, women and girls. That's two different.
But still,
I know. I'm fucking.
Yeah, but the thing is, I'm and after I did that day, because it was a game, and her period came on at school, her stomach was hurting, and she called my wife, and they're like, well, she can. The coach like, well, she can go home. No, hell no. You stay your ass there. You cheer for your team, even if you can't play.
Right.
But in hindsight, looking back on it, that was the athlete in me. Like, no, I'm gonna give it everything that I got, regardless. Because my dad said, you know what? Never let them see you hurt or injured. You play through that shit.
Are you hurt or you injured?
Yeah. And so I was putting that in her. No, that ain't the right thing. She was hurting. She couldn't play. Don't force them to. So I was wrong for that. But look, I told her, I said, hey man, you taking your ass right back into school. You gonna sit on that bench. You gonna cheer for your team, even if you ain't playing. But she leaned over, her stomach hurt, and I'm like, dang. no, this is what you gonna do. But I was wrong. I shouldn't have done it.
You could see it.
Yeah,
You
and
could see
looking
it.
back on it, yeah, I shouldn't have done that.
But you know what? People look at John Morant's dad. I think that's just being proud of your son, being proud of your child. Like people like he at every game, he be talking shit, he be out there partying, drinking, or he get mad. But if you help your child for 20-something years get to the plateau, you should be just as happy as him and cheerleading him or her just as hard. I think every athlete's parent sees nothing wrong with John Morant's dad.
Yeah, and another thing with that, they're close.
They're close.
They're close. His dad, what, 18 years older than him?
Yeah.
You know. Now, on the other hand, if I'd have had a kid in high school, a son in high school, oh, that'd be my dog, man. Shoot, and we'd be running the street. I probably wouldn't even be married right now, man.
And
we'd be running, we'd be doing everything, but we'd be best friends. But the thing is, as a man, you got to be able to separate that, man. You know, I'm happy for John Morant and his dad, but there's some things as a man you got to be able to teach your son.
Right.
I think the difference in that situation is, and excuse me for butting in. The difference in that situation was Ja wanted to be the best. He made it clear that he wanted to be the best basketball player he could be. And he knew what his father had given up. Because his father wasn't no average everyday ball player. His father had a chance to go. Yeah. And as soon as he found out that he was going to be a father, he did what he had to do to take care of his son.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I think, just as far as the conversation is going, your kid is going to know when to tell you that they ready for the next level.
Oh, yeah.
It's nothing that you got to do. Like I said, at the point that you was playing, you started when you was 9. By the time you was in the 9th or 10th grade, you knew what you was shooting for. You didn't have to look to your father to find out what you needed to do. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think a lot of these parents take that into consideration.
Yeah. Yeah, because when I got into high school, my dad, he kind of took a back seat and he let me come into my own. Now, he was at every practice. He was at every game. If he seen me loafing, jogging, and I look up that hill and I see him standing, he got his arms folded. Hey, I better pick it up because it was going to be rough when I got home. But, hey, man, it was, yeah.
So, real quick on the way out, Ja, you have a child, good in sports, and this might be another episode. NIL. Are you the agent? Do you get an agent? Does the money play a factor? How do you feel about NIL? Real quick as you can say it.
I got different opinions on that. If something like that was to happen, it just depends on what's more important at the time. I remember watching a movie real quick, King Richard with Will Smith, and when Venus and Serena had all the different opportunities and deals on the table, Pops is real serious about getting the best deal and still worrying about them having a balance in life and stuff like that too. So I think I would kind of play a role similar to that.
Well, Terrence, real quick.
Oh yeah. Look, I am a firm believer. Get your education first. Me and your mom were working hard to provide opportunity for you. You get the education, you hit them books. Guess what? Can't nobody take that from you. Mm-hmm. You're gonna go way further in those books than you are on that athletic field. You want to be a doctor and lawyer, you can be a doctor and lawyer 80 or 100 years old. You only gonna play at sports, 45, 50 maybe? And then all the injuries and all the stuff that you got to deal with, man, it's rough, man.
Time consuming, sure.
Yeah, and it takes an athlete. It takes a lot of your time, man. People don't think that it do, but man, to be a professional athlete, yeah, it takes a lot of time. That's a lifestyle that you live.
So, absolutely. So for the parents out there, man, all of y'all ain't raising LeBrons.
Yeah.
Oh no.
All of y'all ain't raising Serenas. It don't matter how bad you want it for them. All of y'all ain't bringing home. Y'all ain't feeding John Morant or nothing.
Yeah.
If
You know what
them
I'm
kids
saying?
don't want it for themselves, it ain't gonna happen, mama and daddy. I'm telling you that your son or daughter need to want it for themselves. And you support them. That's how they gonna get there. If they don't want it for themselves, you can't make them want it. Only thing you're gonna do is push them away.
Hey, look, that's a real way to go, man. Look, I appreciate y'all gentlemen on this conversation on this Hump Day Happy Hour tap in, man. We definitely got to do it again. It's always good, Ja, Terrence. We gonna do this last call thing. And in this last call, this is where you can share your social media. You can tell people what you got going on. You can curse somebody out. You know, it's whatever you feel like you need to do. So I'm gonna put Job first. This is your final word to the people for the week.
What's going on, y'all?
Yes,
Night second round here in the studio talking to you guys. You can holler at me on Twitter, Kole on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I do have a show coming up in Atlanta, Georgia, District Championship Wrestling, November the 27th. So tap into that, and I'm out.
All right, I appreciate that, brother. Terrence, what you got for the people?
all right, man. Frat brother of mine passed away this summer, and another frat brother came up with a little slogan, and we made some shirts. And I know the last time I was on, we were talking about mental health, and so this is a slogan. I don't know if y'all can see it.
Yeah. Check
Oh,
on
yeah.
Check on the strong. All right, mental health can't win. It's a lot in our community, man. The black community. You know, as black men, we go through a lot, and we do a lot, and it goes, you know, unappreciated sometimes. And the people that we think are strong, they are on the outside, but on the inside, man, they might be weak. So check on your strong friends. You know, call them. You know, tell them you love them. You're thinking about them. You know, just check on them, man. We want to stay here as long as we can.
I know that's right, man.
All
That's
right?
a dope message.
Yeah. So check on them.
Absolutely. Do you want to give the name out to your partner, man? Show him some love. Rest in paradise.
Man, we gonna save that, man, because I didn't create the shirt. I'm on, you know, I know this video is gonna be shown, and my chapter bros, my frat bros, they'll see it, and they'll give a shout out.
Absolutely, absolutely. We did another good one, Carolina, man. What you gonna tell the people?
Man, I appreciate support from Ja and Terrence. We got to have them back. I always tell people we want to bring people back, in which we try to roll it out and we try to match people up with good people. I think it was a good episode, man. We got two professional athletes. Regardless of if you feel like they're at the top of their game, at the lowest of their game, they still professional athletes with a lot of good info, good energy, good vibe. I appreciate both of them. Once again, we forming relationships, man, on this show. Like we touch everything. We not focused on one thing. We not focused on one type of guest. So we want to give people a chance to talk and express themselves. I get like, it feels good for me when I get people to meet. Like, these two gentlemen came on and we just started talking, and then we hit record, and it's still been a good conversation. Everybody respect each other. So network is superpower. Keep networking, man. You always gonna need somebody. Regardless of what you say, you always gonna need somebody.
Absolutely, and indeed. You know, Terrence just hit it, and I think that'll be the next time we have a panel similar to this. If we can get Terrence and Ja back in, or mix them and match them with somebody else. But mental health conversation is a conversation that we really need to continue to have, and, you know, keep in the forefront. Let's make sure that people, first and foremost, are not embarrassed, man. It is not a sign of weakness that you need help. The weakness is that you're not asking for the help. You know what I'm saying? You know, people want you to be here. You know, sometimes with mental health, it works against you. You think that people are better off, or you think that people don't value you as a person. Everybody got their day-to-day things that go on, and they may miss the opportunity. That's what this show is about as well, is let's not miss the opportunity to shine light on people that don't always get that light, and just make sure, again, like I always say, if somebody on your mind that you ain't reached out to, that you probably need to, take a minute, send a text, make a phone call. You don't even know that missed phone call could change their entire day. Even if they don't necessarily reach back out to you immediately, it just means that you thought enough about them to take some time out of your day, man. So love the ones who love you back. You know what I'm saying? That's what we always say here. This has been another great show. I appreciate everybody on the panel. We're definitely gonna have y'all back. And hold tight after we sign off for a couple minutes, gentlemen. Outside of that, man, y'all be easy. Until the next time. We gone.